You're in control, I need reminding.
Check.
And
Hey.
though at times it's dark, won't let it blind me. And how I used to live, it won't define me.
Check.
So I got to let it go, let it go. God, you're in control, in control. Yeah, I got to let it go, let it go.
Check 1, 2. Hey, hey. Check 1, 2. Check. Hey.
I was trying to chill, just passing time, although it's late. Thinking about the plans we never made and analyzing all of our
Check 1,
mistakes.
2. Hey, hey, hey.
Things I never got to say. I'm grieving what we lost, it hurts me.
Hey, hey. 1, 2. Check. Hey, hey.
Matters of the heart, who really
Hey, 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 hey.
got it more than I would like to. I guess it got a hold on me.
Check 1, 2. Hey.
Letting go of what I thought it was, hoping that it grows on me. God, please search my soul and realign me. God, you're
Check
in
1, 2.
control.
Hey.
Find it. And though at times it's dark, won't let it blind me. And how I used to live, it won't define me. So I got to let it go, let it go. God, you're in control, in control. Yeah, I got to let it go, let it go.
Oh, the remedy that I found in my Lord is the vivid memory in which my heart was so foreign. So show me your vision of me, 'cause I don't wanna be away. So show me your vision of me, 'cause I don't wanna be away. Pour out your spirit like rain. We need you, Lord, rain. Pour out your spirit like rain. Pour out your spirit like rain. 24/7, I'm resting though all of my seasons may change.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? If y'all ready to break a generational curse today, say, oh yeah. If you are ready to tell lack to get off your back, say, get off my back. If you are ready to be in Ephesians 3:20, say 3:20. All right, so today we have a jam-packed schedule for you. Just to kind of walk you through the agenda, we are going to do our icebreaker. We will have a little bit of time to debrief. Then we'll move into a panel for the people who wrote in for the strawberry letter. And then we'll move into some presentations. Our Q&A will follow the event because each of the vendors will be outside for you to talk to them specifically about whatever questions you have. So we won't have any Q&A during the session unless our pastor decide something different. Let's welcome one half of the great Haywoods, Marlon.
Hey, how are you all doing today? So I'm excited, obviously, today for us to talk about money moves of finances. And so today is going to be great. Oh, well, thank you. Yes. Yeah, thank you. So if for people don't know, definitely did the grand opening for our community center yesterday in Inglewood. Yeah. So my energy is not as high as it usually would be. So we did that yesterday. So definitely excited about it. So thank you. But welcome again to JG, and then we're going to get things started, and it's going to be great. And so come with your questions. Well, I know she said questions, but we're still going to kind of get things figured out from there. But I'm going to turn it over to Jamila, and then we're going to go to the next phase.
All right, y'all, because we are coming against a principality, we're going to stand and grab a hand when we pray today. Yeah, somebody said old school. Yeah, we're going to be some seasoned saints, because I know that in our generation, we're facing a lot now. Things are way more expensive, and our money doesn't go as long as it used to. So we really need downloads from God and the wisdom of God in order for us to even be able to make it during these times. So Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for every hand here, God. We thank you for the family that it represents, God, and the bloodlines that it represents, God. You know our history, dear Lord God. And I ask, God, that you honor our attendance here today, God. We pray for the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, stewardship, and revelation. God, we ask that you breathe on this room, God. And when you breathe on this room, God, you will breathe out lack, God. You will breathe out misappropriation, God. You will breathe out the things that we do that is a habit, God, that's draining the resources that you've allowed us to steward. God, make us trustworthy, God. Make us stewards, dear God, and let us be able to finance the next generation, God. Let us be able to finance the kingdom, dear God. And Satan, the Lord, rebukes you in every area of our life. We come against every distraction. We come against every principality, and we come against bloodline poverty, dear Lord God. We don't care if our great grandmothers picked cotton, dear Lord God. We are CEOs, God, and multi-millionaires, God. I release the anointing of the CEO in this room, dear Lord God, and I ask that you trust us and you make us conduits and cash flow agents. I thank you and I praise you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Jamila. Everyone, please have a seat. Welcome, welcome. So in front of you on the tables or on some of the seats, there will be pieces of paper that say money moves, gains, or drains. This is our icebreaker for today. So you can take your pen and go through each of the, I think there's 9 of them on the sheet. And so what you're going to do is read the prompt and think about whether or not it's a gain or a drain. So a gain would be something that financially is a positive thing, something that contributes positively to your financial success. A drain would be the opposite. So something that is a bad habit that maybe you want to break, or something that you might want to transform into a different action that can contribute positively to your success. So just take a few minutes, go through those, and you can write gains or drains on each one. And then afterwards, we can talk about it with our tables before we reconvene as an entire group. All right. So if everyone's finished going through the first 9, you can talk about them amongst yourselves within your table. So just talk about if you've ever experienced any of these, if you have any of these habits in your life that you're either trying to upkeep or trying to break. And talk about how they contribute positively to your life, or if it's something negative, how you can transform that action into something positive that can build us all to financial success.
Let's not take things away that I learned from the Lord Himself on how to break these generational curses of our curses. And we gonna see your life and not just that, but it's to end with me, but to start ends the generation. So, and I'm getting ready to go up. So I think really go on until you come back. And just keep right. That's good. I'm just it each up and one of it to another of it. And I need to print out the plan. Pass me with pass me. Pass me. Oh yeah. I was waiting. People trying to figure out things.
I gotta get up out of here.
All right, all right. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to take some time now. We're going to go over the questions one by one as a group and then kind of just talk about why we put the answers that we put. So I'm going to start with this side of the room. Does someone on this side of the room want to tell me what they put for number one and why?
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiara. For number one, I put drain because I think taking financial risk is a good thing, but the reasoning is why I put drain. It says, you believe you have time to recover. I feel like that's not a good reason. You shouldn't just take a risk because you're like, oh, I have time if this fails. I think you should take a risk because you actually believe in what you are taking the risk for.
All right, thank you. Does anyone agree with that or disagree with that? I'll start with you. I saw your hand first and I'll come back.
Hi, my name is Kaya, and I agree with her because that was me. I was always stop. I was always saying how, oh, I could spend this because I'm going to make it right back. And then God told me, look, I'm going to show you something. I lost my job. So I was like, oh, I should have saved that. So it's like, yeah, you're not always going to recover. I'm not saying you're not going to, but you might not recover in the time that you feel like you will. So put your money up.
Thank you.
I put now I'm a little on edge type person, so I did put I like taking risks. I put take a financial risk because I believe you have time to recover. I believe it's a game. And I was just telling her what I recently risked on, like my son, we put him in Morehouse. So we live in Chicago, and I was like, nah, we finna put you in Morehouse. You're gonna move to Georgia. You're gonna work at Tyler Perry. I'm telling you, we're gonna have this big dream. He was like, how we gonna do it? We'll have the money. I was like, we're gonna trust in the Lord. So when it was time to take him down there, we had just enough gas money and we split meals, and he is a man of Morehouse. So I took that risk and I believe it's worth it. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So we do have what we consider the key, the answers. And for this one, the answer would be gains. We have a reference in the Bible, which is Ecclesiastes 11:1-2. It does say, invest your money in foreign trade, and one of these days you will make a profit. Put your investments in several places, many places even, because you never know what kind of bad luck you are going to have in this world. This is Ecclesiastes 11:1-2. So hopefully that can reshape some of the ways that you think about financial habits, but we will continue to learn as we go along these questions. 11:1-2, verses 1-2. All right, so for the second one, do we have someone who wants to say what they answered and why?
Yeah, for number two, it's a drain because if you have debt that with no plan, that means that you don't even know what debt you have, and that means that you don't have a plan for the future to get yourself out of that debt. So if you have a plan, what man that plan
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Hello, I said the same thing. And from my point of view, I would just say because a lot of times you may have a plan in place to manage your multiple debts. Me being a recent graduate, and it's like, okay, well, God can always one up you and say, no, this is what I have for you. This is a better route for you. Where, let's say, case in point, they clear all your student loans out. Just that can happen again. So,
Exactly. Are there any other people with opposing answers or additional commentary? What did you put?
I put a lot. I carry multiple debts with no clear payoff plan. Drains.
So, so yes, this will be a drain because you want to make sure that if you do have debts, you're thinking about how you're going to eventually pay them off. Because if they do have interest or anything like that, it can accumulate over time, and then you can land yourself into a world of trouble. So hopefully, we can learn how to clear off our debts. For number three, did anyone put gain or drain, and why?
Okay, so for number three, I put gain. That question being, I set clear financial goals for my future, and I put gain because I believe that, especially saving for retirement at a very young age, is very crucial. So, I mean, I myself, Roth IRA account, just pensions, just being able to prepare for later on in life because you never know where life is going to take you. So you always want to be able to set yourself up for success, and building that foundation now is really integral because you never know where this economy is going to go. You don't know if Social Security is going to run out by the time we all retired and old and gray, right? So you just want to be able to have multiple streams of income and also investing right now, currently just having stocks, right? Investing in real estate, invested in, just things of that nature. So I'll say gain, definitely.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing.
I said gains. Now I ain't got a polished answer, but I will say that I didn't come from wealth. I honestly had to start from scratch. Long story short, when you ain't got your parents, you got to start from scratch. I want more. And so I made goals because I realized the older I got, the more that I wanted to live, like it said in the Bible, more abundantly. I wanted experiences. And so experiences cost. And so I said, okay, I need some goals because I don't want to be in the same place this time next year or this time next week. So I started making plans because if you plan to fail, you fail to plan.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else have any other comments? All right. So they were both correct. This would be a gains, and biblical scripture that we have to back that up is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. It says, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. So we want to make sure that we're making our financial plan in a way that would contribute to our longevity with our wealth and our abundance with our wealth, because the Bible does explain that this is what God wants for us. All right, for number 4.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. So for number 4, I put drain because I try to live below my means. So it says I let lifestyle upgrades match every pay raise I get. I don't do that because I feel like I try to ask myself before I buy anything, is this a want or is this a need? And if it's not a necessity, then it can wait.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We have another answer over here.
Hello, my name is Jada. I listed this as a drain, and I believe it's a drain because people sometimes get caught up in living above their means, and I think that can set you back. And so, if you just budget properly and make sure you're just not spending your entire paycheck, it can get you a lot further in life. I had to learn that at a young age. I mean, I'm still young, but in terms of, spending my paycheck, every single paycheck, that causes you to live paycheck to paycheck each month. So yeah, I would say it could be a drain.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anybody else? Okay.
Hello, my name is Latrice Johnson, and I said that Both. I said gain or drain just because it depends on the purchase that you're making because the purchase can turn into an investment. A lot of wealthy people, the lifestyle, when you elevate in money, your lifestyle elevates and you can use that as a tax write off or an investment. There's a lot of wealthy women who buy Birkin bags and they donate them, and that's a tax write off. So you can donate it and then have it be a tax write off and then also repurchase it. So if you look at it like that, obviously a Birkin bag is extremely expensive. But if you're keeping it to reinvest in it, then that's a different, your mentality changes when you get richer. So I think it just depends on the type of mentality you have as you acquire money.
Awesome. All right.
So, I actually agree with her. And what I would add to that is as you acquire wealth, you have to think about what are you buying? Is it an asset or is it a liability? So if you're buying assets because now your income has increased and you go and buy, like she said, a bag that is going to retain value or a property that's going to go up in value. So yes, so you're looking at it and saying, oh, I got more money. I'm going to invest it now. So if you're investing it, then therefore it's not negative. It's a asset, not a liability.
Thank you for sharing. So yes, this would be a drains, mostly just because you want to make sure that if you're getting upgraded or you're getting raises at your work, you don't want to immediately spend it all. You don't want it to just go away just as quickly as it came. Pastor Hannah always talks about how what we do with a little is what God will trust us to do with a lot. So depending on what you did with the little, if you're able to save it, God will increase that. And then if he increases it, you want to make sure that you're still saving. If you have a bonus at the end of the year, you don't want to just spend it immediately. You want to make sure that you're living within your means, not celebrate your promotion and your raise, but you don't want to immediately just throw it all away just because you got it. So number 5, it says, I delay retirement savings because I think I'll start later. Do we have anybody? I see a hand over there. So we're going to decide if this was a gains or a drains.
Thank you. I said this is a drain. When you start retiring and saving money for it, you need to be proactive, especially at a young age, because when you start young, investing, saving, there is compound interest that comes along with that. And your money will grow at an exponential rate if you start saving money for retirement early, like a Roth IRA or a life insurance plan.
Awesome. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? All right. Well,
I said it's a drain, and it's a drain because to kind of piggyback off what the young man just said down there, the money builds year over year. So depending on like the type of account you start, sometimes what you start with is not always what you end up with. So money market accounts, Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, also even life insurance plans. When you start that policy, sometimes it may not be worth anything in the beginning, but in the end, it builds up over time. So it's definitely essential.
thank you. Thank you for sharing. So for that, number 5, that is a drains. You don't want to wait until it's too late to start saving. You want to start as soon as possible because the more you save now, the more you'll have later. You would hope that it would build interest. So if you put it in like a savings account that has a high interest rate, then you'll have even more money than you started with. So you want to make sure that you're saving for a rainy day, saving for your future so you can live comfortably. You don't want to wait until your later years to decide to start thinking about it or understanding it or knowing what next steps to take. So for the next couple of them, we're going to go through them, but we're just going to say it as a group, whether it's a gains or drains. So for number 6, it says, I use digital budgeting tools to track my expenses. Gains or drains? Gains? Yes, I heard gains, so that is correct. That is something that can help you schedule yourself, organize your funds and your assets to help you decide where you want, which ones you want to spend now, which ones you want to save, and how you're going to save and invest them so that they can accrue interest and yield positive results in the future. So number 7, it says, I feel like it's too late to start investing. Is that a gains or a drains? So yes, that is a drains. So it's never too late to start investing. You can start today. And in today's panel, we're going to be able to get some tips on how we can start investing. It doesn't have to be something huge. You can start small. You can start with a little bit that you have saved, and then you can invest it, and it'll grow over time. So it's never too late to start investing. Number 8, I spend money as soon as I get it. Gains or drains? So I heard drains. That is a drains. For obvious reasons. You want to make sure that you're saving money so that in the end you'll have an abundance of wealth. Number 9, I regularly save for my family's future needs. Gains. So yes, that is what we want you guys to take away from this. We want to make sure that you're saving, and then in the end, we'll hopefully all have financial success. Thank you.
All right, if y'all ready to break the back off of lack, say break the back off of lack. Break the back off of lack. So we're about to move into our panel, but before we do that, it is important to note that this is a very serious conversation. And so we want to make sure that we have a quiet space where everyone can hear each of the questions and each of our presenters. So I'm going to ask that you put all side conversations to the side and just jot down a note if you really have something that you want to get out, because we want to be able to hear every single thing that needs to be heard. Because I heard y'all say that y'all ready living out Eat 320. And if you're ready living your Eat 320, you need the tools from our panelists and the Eat 320 man himself. So we're going to bring up Marlon as he introduces our panel.
All right. So the first person, obviously, that I want to introduce is Pastor. So let's put our hands together for Pastor Hannah. Now, one of the things that he just asked, he said, how many of you all, there's people in this room you do not know? Raise your hand. If there's people in this room that you do not, it's a lot of hands. So, Pastor, you wanted them to get to.
Everybody stand to your feet, please. I need you to go to 3 people that you don't know and introduce yourself. Hello, my name is. Some of y'all sitting right next to people and don't know them. Hello, my name is John Hannah. What is your name? Hello, my name is John Hannah. What's your name? Huh? I can't hear you.
Maya Moore.
Y'all need to get some steps. This is too high. Hello, my name is. Some of y'all not moving. Get out this corner, Britt. Go introduce yourself. What up, though? What up, though? Is it cold in here? It's cold in here. Tell them turn this heat up something. There we go. He over here, Dan. Ben. He go to heat, man. All right, y'all ready? All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, some of y'all still talking. Y'all trying to get numbers. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. There's a panel here, and they're gonna introduce the panel. We have some of your questions. Some of your questions are from an investment point of view. So I'll answer from the spiritual side, let them answer from the business and the investment side. So I'll let them introduce the panel, and then we'll go from there, all right?
All right, so we have our first panelist. We have Sharice Pleasant. So she has added CEO to her title in November of 2020. Oh yeah, I'm gonna help you make sure you get it. And so Cherie, she's a proud West Side native, single mother of 4. So I'll make sure you heard that. So she's a single mother of 4. So she's represented for the single mothers. She was determined to create a better life for her family. Her journey began in her basement, helping friends and relatives with tax returns and credit repair. After long days working 2 jobs and outgrowing her basement, she realized her true calling and took the leap into full-time entrepreneurship by launching Pleasant Financial Services. So let's put our hands together for Cherise Pleasant. Next, we have Michael Evans. All right. He's a financial educator and investment strategist.
Careful, Mike, standing up here. It's high.
Yeah.
I failed last month. Come on, don't fall, bro. We ain't paid our insurance yet. Don't fall.
He's an investment strategist passionate about helping individuals and families create generational wealth. Drawn from years of experience, he simplifies complex financial concepts like the Rule of 72, diversified investing, and legacy planning into practical strategies that anyone can apply. Through his engaging workshops and coaching, Michael equips people with financial education, the game plan, and coaching, and what they need to stop struggling and start building a strong financial future. So let's put our hands together for Michael Evans.
Come on.
And then last, we have Calvin Russell.
Calvin. Be careful, Calvin. There it is.
So Calvin is a real estate firm owner and credit score strategist with over a decade of experience helping everyday people turn the dream of home ownership into reality. All right. We got a little help in there. Okay. As the CEO and founder of the 850 Club Credit with over 180,000 subscribers and co-owner with his wife, Park Place Realty. I saw his wife. Where's his wife at? Oh, there you go. How you doing?
Look at us stand out like Miss America. Love it.
Okay. And so again, with his wife, he's the co-owner of Park Place Realty. So Calvin has guided thousands of first-time home buyers through the full journey from boosting their credit scores to securing pre-approvals and navigating down payment assistance and then closing on homes. So let's get it. Put our hands together for Calvin Russell. All right.
All right, so y'all know the drill. People have wrote in, these are real life situations. So we handle them with love, we handle them with care because we do not know whether or not they are in the room. But before we get started, I read the first one, say, wealth is in the room. My wealthy place is near. I am a great steward of financial resources. Dunamis Woman writes, when it comes to trusting you with my money, God, I sometimes struggle with understanding what true provision looks like. I work hard, stay consistent, and yet there are moments when I feel the pressure of scarcity creeping in, even while holding down a 9-to-5 job. I know you are faithful, God, but sometimes I need clarity on how to steward what I have and prepare for what's ahead. One thing I've been afraid to admit about my finances is that I sometimes allow survival mode to dictate my decisions. I want to shift from just getting by to living in abundance, waking up daily with peace and purpose. So how do I begin to really start and look at my financial life to get more streams of income?
Go ahead. I feel like you had an answer right now. All right. So I'll just tell you what I did, and then I'll let them tell you from their professions. And I did not step into wealth until I was in my late 40s, close to 50. And I started out small with saving. Every pay period, I stacked some money. It started out with a little bit, $25 every check. I sent it to a far away credit union that I couldn't get to it. And I made sure that I didn't have a debit card or anything to get to it. If I wanted to get to it, I had to get in my car and drive for 2 hours to get to it. So I put the money far away from me and I just let it grow. I never touched it. And then I watched it grow until opportunity came for me to buy my first piece of property. Preparation plus opportunity equals success. Your opportunity won't come until you're prepared for it. And so I saw God take that little and turn it into much without, and here we go. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he'll do what? So with me, my first real estate purchase was a condo. This is how my wealth began. I bought it for 80, I sold it for 160. I moved from there to another place and ended up buying a penthouse for 255. I sold it for 586,000. I built the house. The real estate market crashed. I bought 6 condos and paid cash for them all. I let people live in them and they paid me rent. It's a process. And for many of y'all, you want wealth overnight, but it's a journey. But the journey must start someplace. And for me, it started in real estate. I got my first lump sum of money through a real estate investment. That was my journey. But it has to start with the stacking. Start saving little, and you'll see your little turn into much.
So whoever wanted so Calvin, do you want it seem like you wanted to go next? Or whoever wanted to answer the question next? Okay. Okay, so whoever wanted to answer the question, you can.
Okay, so my story is a little similar, I guess, because we West Siders.
Come on here.
So, at the age of 25, I started repairing my credit. I have 4 children that you heard of, and I was young, right? And my oldest is now 25 years old. Yeah, right. So at that point, I didn't want to be stereotyped. You know what I'm saying? So I told myself, what can I do? I repaired my credit. I paid somebody $2,500 to do it, and I messed it back up, right? But then I said, nope, I ain't doing it no more. So I started researching, educating myself, getting myself into how to repair your credit. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? I started traveling, getting certified, fixing my credit, fixing my family credit. At that point, I purchased my first piece of property at the age of 27, working for the city of Chicago. I stacked my money. I was working on a garbage truck, but I was there for 16 years. I stepped out on faith, and I opened up Pleasant Financial Services. At that time, I had an intellectual disabled daughter, and I couldn't find the help that I needed for her. So I kept praying, and I kept fasting, and I kept praying, and I told God, I need out. I couldn't keep driving to O'Hare Airport every morning to work 7 to 3, and I didn't know how my kids was going to get back and forth to school. Thank God for neighbors that was super nice to me. God always had favor over my life. When I opened up Pleasant Financial Services, I had an 800 square foot office for employees, and then next thing you know, God expanded me. He enlarged my territory where I went down the street to 1,900 square foot with 6 employees at that time. I moved out of my home that I stayed in on 84th and Paulina. It was 1,200 square foot. And 3 years ago, after I had great credit, my income was amazing. Business was going very well, helping people repair, rebuild, and reestablishing their credit and positioning myself. I was able to purchase my second piece of property, which is a over $500,000 home, 6,000 square feet in Flossmoor, Illinois. Thank you. And I also had a tenant that was paying me $2,500 a month. And my rent over there was only $1,100. So I was winning, right? So I want to say to you, it's never too late. Don't look at your situation that you are in now and wonder, oh my God, how? Because you never know what your end is going to be. Continue to educate yourself on credit, financial literacy. Save your money. Don't look at, oh, they ride a Range Rover, they ride a Mercedes Benz. It doesn't matter what they're riding, what they have. Once you move off that lot, that depreciation on that vehicle, it goes down. It's not helping you get any money. So save your money, get your credit scores up, stack your bread, and let's go.
All right, so Mike, do you have it? Do you want to answer? Have something to say?
Sure. First of all, I'm excited to see you young people in here ready to go play to win, ready to go get up to the next level. I'm excited about that. That inspires me, real talk. First of all, went to Calumet High School, was not going to go to college. I had two jobs, one working at UPS, one working at Scott Peterson Meat Company on the west side. My mother said, "You're going to college?" I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." I said, "I'm not going to college. I got two jobs to get paid every Thursday, every Friday." They got me fired from both those jobs. Sent me down to Northern Illinois University. That's a black woman, okay? Sent me down to Northern Illinois University, told me what you're going to major in, and don't come back. She said some things past I can't say, but she said them, okay?
I love a cussing mother. Go ahead.
So got me down to Northern, met my wife there, met my mentor there. He left the university 2 years before I graduated. He was a All-American at Iowa, former Harlem Globetrotter, the athletic director at Northern Illinois University, left the university 2 years before I graduated. 2 years later, I got recruited as a contract negotiator. I'm selling parts to the B-1 bomb and mixed missile space shuttle right out of our aerospace company in Rockford. Bump into him at a church. He said, "Who's handling your finances?" That's the first question. Who's handling your finances? I said, the student loan people, the credit card people, the car loan people, and the rent people. That's who manages my finance. He said, "Do you have a retirement plan?" I said, "I got some with a 4 in it. I don't know how it worked. They taking some money out of my check every 2 weeks." He said, "Well, let me ask you some questions. Question number one, do you plan on retiring from that job?" I said, "No." He said, "Are they paying you all you need to make?" I said, "No." He said, "If they were, what are some goals and dreams do you have that's going to cost money?" I said, "We need a second car, get a house in our children's school, retire early, eliminate our debt, go into businesses, help my parents and take some vacations going someplace other than driving down south." Okay. He said, "So well, why'd you say that, Mike?" "Because we drove down south every summer. I ain't never driving down there ever again in my life, driving." So he said, "What do you think you need to make a year?" Here's the question. What do you think you need to make a year in order to hit the goals and dreams that you have per your goal list? I said, "I need to at least make 200,000. He said, "How long is it going to take that company to pay you 200,000? I said, "Never." He said, "I run into people every day that got goals and dreams like this. Income is like this. You're going to have to do something in addition to what you're doing, or you're going to have to do something instead of what you're doing. You're not going to hit those goals and dreams anytime soon."
Say that one more time. You're gonna have to do something. What?
You're going to have to do something in addition to what you're doing or instead of what you're doing. You're not going to hit those goals and dreams that you have. It's hype. You just got some stuff on a piece of paper, and you don't have a game plan. People don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. And that's what has to happen. We got to plan this game. And if we plan this game, I'm telling you what the other community has done. I know exactly what they've done. I've been mentored and trained by them. I'm going to spend the 20 minutes I have breaking down. Somebody going to leave out of here having a millionaire mentality or a multi-million mentality, because I want to make sure you get what you need to get, because they gave it to me and they tried to hold us back, but we got the secrets now. We're going to drop it down today.
Oh, it's some big money in this room. Come on, bruh.
Now that I'm following up behind that, so for me, my wealth journey started back in 2011. I worked at a car dealership. I was there for 6 years. I spent 4 of those years in sales, and I sold over probably 550 cars in 4 years. But what I saw people across from me that were paying mortgages that was the exact same amount as my monthly rent at that time. And then I said to myself, so if it's this easy, or if it costs this amount, then how come people don't talk about home ownership? And so I started to dig into it. My wife says, "Listen, let's get serious about it." We bought our first 2-unit property at age 24. We then moved to our second property, still keeping the first at 27. We bought our commercial property at 32. And so we flipped and bought some homes in between that time. But I said, wait a minute, I need to teach people what I'm doing and show them how easy this actually is. And so that's when I started putting videos on YouTube. That was 191,000 subscribers ago. But so many people, thousands of people we've taught nationwide how to go from where they are right now to essentially accomplish their credit and financial goals. So here's the thing. You don't have to be great to start, but you do need to start to become great. And so for you all being here today,
Hold on,
that's the
bro.
first step.
You said that too fast. That's a life-changing statement. Say it one more time.
You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to become great. And you all being here today, That's a step in the right direction. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You don't know what you don't know, but you at least got to start somewhere. So, and that's why I'm here today.
This is good.
The little baby said yes. Okay. All right. This is from DJ Dollar Rice. I mean, DJ Dollar. That's an interesting name. All right. I'm currently saving for my first home. Saving in lump sums has been consistent. However, I'm skimping on my tithe. And the city of Chicago won't stop harassing me for parking tickets. I'm running from the boot man.
Been there. I
wanna-
did too.
I want to be consistent in tithing, paying off debt, and saving, eventually investing my money in ETFs and mutual funds rather than always paying off debt. How do I save accordingly for a home when I've never paid a mortgage or rent? I try to save my rent every month, but I'm looking for more smart strategies as well.
All right. I'll answer the tithing question, then I'll let them deal with the other question. All right. So this is my truth. Tithing was not easy for me. I was living from check to check. I was struggling. And so I remember skipping tipping. I was skipping on my tithes. I was dipping out. And so I remember the Lord began to say to me, you're going to have to trust me. So I did what was best for me. At the top of the month was when my rent was due and my car note was due. So I paid my tithe in lump sum towards the end of the month or that second check. And that was my way of becoming consistent in my tithing. Once I started that cycle of being consistent, letting God know that he could trust me, then money literally, for real, for me, start coming from different directions. Your gift will make room for you. I begin to see blessings come. Some of this is spiritual, guys. When you let God know that he could trust you, then he allows you to find another well. Never took a class in radio. I got a phone call. Your name came up at the radio station, and I got called in to audition for a show. It ended up giving me my own show. With that radio job, I was working at the county as a juvenile probation officer. That radio job was giving me pay me another $60,000 a year. You ready? One time I added up how much money I had given in ministry and tithes and offering. It added up to $60,000. So all the extra I made, I sold. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a blessing in the sowing process. And I'm going to talk more about that later, but I'm going to let them deal with the investing part. But let God know that he could trust you in that area, and it'll blow your mind what he can give you later. If you're struggling giving God $100, can he trust you to get tithe $1,000? If you're struggling tithing $700, can he trust you tithing $7,000? Ready? This is me. I'm a faith person. He told me, I need you to start tithing where you want to go, not where you are. First, he stretched me and made me, I was tithing $5,000 a month. I thought that was a lot. Then he stretched me more and said, now I need you to start tithing $10,000 a month, as if you're making $100,000 every month. I do it. Do I make $100,000 some months? Nope. But I live in overflow. Everybody repeat after me. This is spiritual. All right. I'm going to talk more later, but I'm going to let them go ahead.
I can say, as far as anyone that is looking to save for a home, even if it's not just a home, sometimes saving is difficult because you have birthdays, you got anniversaries, you got invited somewhere, you got a trip, you want to take some time for yourself. So I get it. That's why there is different forms of down payment assistance, which I'll touch on a little bit later as well too. But savings in general is really going to come down to your budget. There's going to be a tough conversation that you have to have with yourself. Some things you won't be able, or some things you have to say no to, right? But just for a short period of time. Or as one person said, short-term pain for long-term gain, right? And so you say to yourself,
hold on, bro, you be dropping bombs. We take notes up in here. Y'all get ready to write this down. Say it again.
Short-term pain. So it's going to hurt right now. Short-term pain for long-term gain. Okay. And so once you realize that and say, okay, this is something I cannot do, or you have to say, just like he talked about, Mr. Evans talked about earlier, it's okay to make extra income. Everyone say extra income. It's okay to have extra income. It's going to make things a lot easier. So one of the things that I tell my clients is, hey, let's get another stream of income going and then have that go towards either your debts or it goes towards your savings. And so you have to say, okay, where's my money going? Like, and I know you don't want to look at your bank statement, but you need to look at it to see how many times you're on DoorDash, how many times you're going to Starbucks, right? And
Don't look at me like that. Starbucks is in my budget. Go ahead.
But then at the same time, too, guys, there's a lot of programs that are out here. Sellers are looking to give credit, things of that sort. I'll touch on that a little bit later. But just know people do struggle with that. But just something is better than nothing at all. But look to see where your money's going to try to figure out, where the problem is so we can figure out a solution.
My comment is I was taught, raised, didn't do it in the beginning, as Pastor said, but we were taught to go with a 10-10-80 rule. 10-10-80 rule. Pay tithes on 10%, pay yourself 10%, and live off the other 80%. And my point is,
Wait, you gotta say that again. Y'all need to write that down. Say it again.
10-10-80 rule. Pay tithes on 10%, pay yourself 10%, and live off the other 80%. I'm going to come back and keep saying that you're going to have to do something in addition to what you're doing. You're not going to be able to get to where you want to go with the income that these people are going to pay you. They pay you just enough for you not to quit. You do just enough work not to get fired. We got your question in a minute, my sister. 1 second. Real talk. That's what happens. It's a job. It's a job. And I'm not knocking anybody who has a job. I had one. But when they talked to me about it, when the gentleman got me to understand money, he asked me, do you think you know anybody that need to understand what I just did for you? I said, everybody I know need to hear this. Everybody I know need to hear this. He said, well, why don't you work with me? Let me mentor you again. Keep your full-time job. But if I ever replace your take-home income, not your income, your take-home income, I want you to consider coming with me full-time. I said to myself, Pastor, he's 30 years older than me, so out of respect, I mumbled it under my breath. You ain't gonna be able to replace my take-home income. I make $25,000. You ain't gonna be able to replace my income. In 18 months, they replaced my take-home income. I quit my full-time job, scared to death, prayed, talked to my wife, my mother, and quit and went full-time. My wife kept her job. My point to you is saying to you is that you have to step out on faith. And I'm not saying go quit your job.
Talk.
Okay. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying you got to do something else. But when you start making more money part-time than you taking home full-time, attitude kicks in. I'm not working weekends no more. I'm not working overtime no more. You all got to do what y'all got to do. I'm just telling you because y'all blocking my blessing over here while I'm trying to bless somebody. And I'm up here working, building y'all business, but I'm not building my own. Sometimes you all spend too much time on somebody else's business, and then you got a business, you treating it like it's raggedy. You got to go work for yourself like you're working for somebody else because you show up at that man's job on time. And if you don't, they're going to dock you and they're going to fire you. You got to treat yourself just like that you got to dock yourself, fire yourself because your store is not open. You got a McDonald's. McDonald's is open every day. People ask me, you working on the holiday? I say, is Jules open? McDonald's open? The car wash open? I'm open. I'm self-employed. I'm an independent contractor. I'm a business owner. You got to understand that before you start talking about some holidays, some birthdays. You can't make everybody's birthday. Give them a gift. Send them a tithe. Send them an offering. I'm just trying to let you all understand. You can't make everything that everybody calls you for, sending you this, sending you this, sending you that. Can you help me? So the person we're talking about that need to pay themselves to stack up some money, we're saying to that person in that particular message that they have to start somewhere. And too many times people do not start. They keep procrastinating. And we all got some procrastination on us. But you got to stop procrastinating some. When you talk about, I ask people, who are you paying? They paying everybody but themselves. You make a list, here's all the people I'm paying, Mike. Where you at? I see everybody on here. You and God ain't on here nowhere. Where you at?
You and God ain't on here. Glory to God. All right. I thought Mike was going to cuss in a few more minutes, didn't you? But he got excited. Like, what the? What the? I started drinking my coffee. All right, next question. I want to say something. Some of you all are living above your means. You have to ask yourself, can I really afford this rent? Can I really afford this car? I would rather suffer now so I can live later. So sometimes you got to really look at what you're making and what you really, is your lifestyle above what you're bringing in? And what adjustments do I need to make? It's okay.
Pastor, before they go on that note, we were taught to live below your means.
Oh.
You got to live below your means. You got to go without some stuff. So they taught us to buy the pre-driven car. Okay, buy the pre-driven car instead of buying the brand new one. I know sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but I'm saying live below your means, and that's what most people don't. They live above their means, and we didn't grow up like in the atmosphere that all of you all grew up in the social media atmosphere to where everything people do is all on social media. Half of it's a lie and fake. Okay, they done rented the stuff and talked about this, and you see them broke. Okay, but I'm saying to you, don't get caught up in what you all see on social media because most of it is not real. So I want to let you understand, live below your means, because if you can live below your means down the road, you can live above what you've been doing, because now, as Pastor said, and as my two peers on the stage, they talked about they started and bought something at some point, but you can't buy nothing if you don't have any money. So when the market went down, when the real estate market went down, we bought they had a place in.
Talking my talk now. That's when I went in, bro. Come on.
Right. When my wife keeps a list of things she wants. Okay, she got a whole list. Oh, I want this. I want this. So she had on the list, I don't want to be in Chicago during the winters. So we had on the list, she want to buy a Florida home. So it was on our list, Pastor. We wasn't doing it yet. It was on our list. But when the market went down in 2009, $1 million condo, $1 million, 4,500 square foot, on the water. This is the house. This is the back porch. That's the water right there. That's the boats right down there. She said, a friend of mine called me and said, are you all still serious about getting that place? They said, Mike, the market just went down. That property that you all were thinking about is at $300,000, but you got to have cash.
Talk.
You got to have cash. So it's now worth 1.6 million, and we don't owe a mortgage, and we can ready to take 1.5 million out of it to go invest in some more real estate. Okay, no sense in letting that. Oh, I got a paid up house. That's great, and somebody else got my money. No, you got a paid up house, but they ain't doing that. I need that money to work for me instead of working for the man. That's all I got.
Everybody repeat after me. I have a cash anointing. So when you stack and that deal come through, now you're able to pay cash. I end up buying 6 condos. One condo, when the real estate market crashed, they paid $250,000. I paid $55,000 for it. They paid $300,000. I paid $40,000. And I walked in and paid cash for them, had them rehabbed, and I rented them out. And every month I had checks coming in. You ready? I never lived off the checks that were coming in. I stacked it, but I lived off my regular 9 to 5. Some things are supposed to be brought in, but not supposed to be lived off.
And I wanted. She said, repeat that.
I forgot what I said.
Well, it was pretty hard to come back off of the man here. I'm gonna let you go last next time. That's rough. So I just really wanted to touch really quick on this. I'm big in credit, right? So when you repair your credit, you repair it, rebuild it, and reestablish it. But if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna be a business owner, I'm going to let you know you need business credit. It's very important. 99% of our small businesses fail due to the fact we have no working capital. We use our own personal funds to leverage our business, and then we drown in on a personal end because we're trying to keep the doors open because we have a image to uphold, right? Social media again. So with that being said, you want to open your business, structure it correctly, and position yourself to get business credit and business funding. That way it can help you leverage your business. You can keep your personal credit intact. You can be able to save, and you can purchase your home and everything else that you need to purchase in your personal name. And that way the business can function off the business name. If you need cash, yes, you can liquidate the credit into cash and you can purchase. If that makes any sense to you guys. And I can talk to you a little bit about that later, but you can definitely liquidate that cash into funds. If you go out and get $100,000 business line of credit and you go out and purchase a property like Pastor Hannah did for $40,000, you could go to that $100,000 line of credit, pull out that $50,000, go purchase that property, and you did OPM, other people money. You never used your cash. You used the bank cash. And now you can pay it back as you go and as you do what you need to do. And that's all I wanted to say. Oh, and for the person that's on the boo list, go get on the payment plan. Thank you.
Because they're going to catch you. They called me and had to go down and
So
She said OPM. I want to put an OPE in there. What we're here today is to talk about other people's experiences. If you can learn from the experiences that we have, we call it OPE. We want you not to make the same mistakes that we made or didn't make. But we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to win. I'm telling you all, I am driven to make sure people of color look like you and I can learn this game of money and come up. Come up. I'm talking about come up for real. Wait. I can't wait to talk.
Success should not be a secret. I'm gonna say that again. Success should not be a secret. If you made it out, you should be willing to share the information on how we can get out. All right, next question.
So Pastor Hannah says some things aren't meant to be lived off of, they're meant to be stacked. So that's the one-liner from Pastor Hannah. Some things aren't meant to be lived off of, they're meant to be stacked. So our last but not least, a determined daughter writes, when it comes to trusting God with money, I struggle with balance. I work full-time, attend school, and am raising children by myself, but it feels like I am always behind. Rent and bills come quicker than my checks, and sometimes I depend on side gigs to fill the gap. One thing I've been afraid to admit is how heavy the stress feels. I'm not lazy, but the constant juggling makes me feel like I'm failing when I can't keep up. I'm burnt out and trying to find some sense of stability. How do I rebuild from constantly catching up to experiencing real stability and peace?
All right, I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna turn it over to them. I'm gonna get off this panel, and they're gonna do their presentations. It's almost what I preached today. It's your manna season. Everybody has to go through a manna season where you only have enough to make it each week. How you handle your manna determines how you deal with your Canaan. I need you to hear me, and I'm gonna get off this stage. Anything I say, I'm not saying it to boast, but I'm saying it as a witness to everybody in this room. And I'm not saying it for you to come and ask me for money, because I don't give out money, okay? I'm from the West Side, born and raised in poverty. Nobody taught me what they're teaching us. Nobody. The only way that I got out of poverty, I had to ask God, show me how to do this. He showed me how to get out of debt. He showed me how to pay off my debt. He showed me how to save my money. He showed me how to start building property. Nobody was talking to me the way that these people are talking to you. What do we teach you? Exposure brings expectation. When we bring people in front of you, it is to expose you so that you can expect. You ready? I need you to hear me. There's never been a millionaire in my family until me. I need you to hear me. There has never been a millionaire in my family until me. And for many of you all, exposure is expectation. You will be the first millionaire in your family. All right? And I want to clear something up. Because most people think as a preacher or as a pastor, you got your money from the church. I need you to look at me. I have multiple streams of income. I have had book deals. I have merchandise. I sold eyeglasses because I love glasses. When I'm called out to speak, I never spend any of that money. I stack it. You ready? Every piece of property that I own is paid for. I don't have a mortgage. I live in my house. I only pay utilities. You ready? I bought it for $525. When we sell it, it's gonna go for over $1 million. Hold on, it gets better. I'm only exposing so that you can expect. I was about to waste money and go buy a boat. And the Lord told me, you're not gonna be on that boat. Sit down until I tell you what to do. I needed a break. I bought another house in Michigan. They had it on the market for years. I walked in and paid $400,000 cash for the house. Look at me. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, swimming pool, hot tub. I'm from the projects. Look at me. I bought it for $4 million. If I sold it right now, it can go for $900,000. You ready? I'm sitting at home. The Lord said, I want you to pay attention to me because I'm going to show you where you're going to retire. I'm going to give you where you're going to spend your latter years. I got in my car, drove downtown. pulled up at a condo close to Soldier Field. My spirit started shaking. Said, this is not your neighborhood. I drove over by Nordstrom's. My spirit still stood rest. This is not your neighborhood. I drove to the Gold Coast and my spirit settled. And the Lord said, this is where you will live. I need everybody to hear me loud and clear. He is no respect of persons. Stop waiting on somebody to give you something and ask God to show you how to get it. Ready? We own a condo downtown that we don't live in. I paid cash for it. There's a man living in my condo downtown that wire money to my account every month. Never met the man a day in my life, don't want to meet him. He wires $10,000 every month to my account that I never touch. So when me and Anna get ready to move in it, I'll get it completely rehabbed to how we want to live. We do not bring these people in here to waste our time or your time. It is to expose you to your future. Do you hear me talking to you? You cannot be under this roof and remain in the lifestyle that you're in. You cannot be around these people. If you stay in the situation that you're in, that is your choice. But God has brought us up to expose you so that you can have better. Look at least 3 people around you and say, I will be the first millionaire. All right, so listen. So you got to listen to them. Look at me. Because when you make money, they're going to show you don't just let your money sit in the bank, what to do with it. At one point, my money was just sitting in the bank. And I'm looking at the interest on what the bank was giving me. It was horrible. I mean, I got hundreds of thousands of dollars in your account, and you're only giving me $5 a month. I went and met with somebody. While I sit here, my money every month is making thousands just sitting in their account. The bank is taking my money and did some investments in it that my money is making money even while I sit here. Hear me loud and clear. While you're sitting, your money gonna start running. Y'all don't receive what I say. Listen to these people. And some of them, you can't let them leave without you getting their information. It's called the divine appointment. God sent you for me, and I'm going to get what you got. Let's give God a praise for that. All right? And then I share my business for you to ask me to loan you some money. I don't loan money, and neither do I give it. All right? I love y'all. I'm going to turn it over to the panel.
So, Pastor, real quick before you leave, can you talk about the One Conference that is this week?
Okay, so the One Conference is coming up, and you got to hear me on Friday. On Friday, if you can't come on Thursday, you should be in the building on Friday. We have the young lady from Atlanta that started the restaurant, Slutty Vegan. She turned a restaurant, a vegan restaurant, into a multi-million-dollar business. And then she sold it and then got it back and lost everything and then took it back up to the millions. I got to bring people in front of you who have the oil to do what they do. Guys, I just hope that I'm giving you what I never had. I'm bringing you to people who I've never heard. Had I got this information that you getting at your age, I would have been this. But nobody was sharing success. We got people in here who are sharing their success that we will be without excuse. So you need to be here Friday. Everybody say Friday. Find out how to register for it. Get in the building. Get in the building with people who are going to teach you how to do what you do because you're going somewhere. Because many of you are on the sound of my voice. I asked God at one point, I say this, I'm going to turn it over. Look at this. I said, God, I need you to send millionaires to our church. He said, they're already here. I was like, where they at? Listen to this. He said, they're in seed form. As you water it, you'll see it grow. There's a man that's at our church right now. When he came to me, he was making $10 an hour. He came to me after he got out of prison. He came to me making $10 an hour. I went with him when he bought his first piece of property. He now owns 50 pieces of property. He is a multi-millionaire in our church, but he started out making $10 an hour. You next. How many of y'all believe that you are that person? I'm going to turn this over. Let me just do the spiritual part. Lift your hands, lift your hands. So God, I thank you as we begin to prepare to listen to this panel. And I ask God that these words fall on good soil and it produce good fruit. And I decree and I declare that you're raising up young millionaires. They will not have to wait as long as we waited, but they're going to take the information and make it happen immediately. Things will happen immediately. I pray for wisdom and discernment to be released in these people. I pray that they can hear you loud and clear, that you would show them what to do and how to do and when to do what needs to be done. But their lives are about to be changed immediately. And I thank you for the new young millionaire club at New Life. All right, let me take a picture with the panel. Then we got, let me get. Money in it, bro. A lot of money in it. Love you guys.
All right, so the first person we're going to have is Sharice. She's going to be the first person to do the presentation. And so as Sharice is getting ready to set up for her presentation, it's something, a quick advice that I want to give that somebody gave me when I was at a gathering last week. One of the advice that they gave me is that they took, how many of y'all are familiar with ChatGPT, right? All right. This was an older guy who was a financial investor. What he told me that he did is that he took his 12-month bank statement, downloaded it onto his computer on PDF. He then took that PDF for 12 months and then he uploaded it to ChatGPT. And then from there, asked ChatGPT to break down as far as what, like, where has he been inconsistent with his finances? Where can he make some cuts? How can he do better investments? And then ChatGPT gave him a full plan based off his spending habits for the last 12 months. So then that individual said that he was able to then pay down debt and then really come up with a consistent strategy, because what they did is they went off of his payments and how he's been handling his money for the last 12 months. So what I'm saying to you all is that even if you cannot afford a financial advisor, utilize ChatGPT because it's at your disposal. And it can help you to learn better investments and different strategies if that's something you don't know. So just wanted to give that advice. So we're about to turn it over to Sharice. All right.
Hey, y'all. Hey. So I'm a live one, and I'm here to talk to you about the basis of credit. How many in here know about anything about credit? All right, great. I love that. I'm an educator, okay? So I'm going to go with you, and you go with me. I'm gonna put it down, and you pick it up. So it's big about credit, all right? Your credit score is made into 5 different categories, okay? Credit is important. Anybody know what is credit and why credit is important? Oh, no? Yeah? Let's go.
So, firstly, it's basically your reputation. So that's what credit is. Credit is your reputation, your ability to be able to manage and steward your finances and steward what's coming in to you well, and be able to pay it on time, right? And credit is important because without credit, without that history, they don't know who you are from Adam. They don't know who you are from a can of paint, right? So you want to buy a car, okay, let's see how well you manage your finances to see if you can afford this car. You want to buy a house, let's see how well you can manage your finances to see if you can afford this house, right? So that's what it is.
Yes, absolutely. So your credit score is made into 5 different categories, okay? And I call it the credit profile. And the credit profile is what generates your credit score from a 300 to an 850. All right? It doesn't matter if you have a 700 credit score on your credit report. Guess what? If your profile is not generated strong enough, you're going to be denied. If you're trying to purchase a vehicle, and you have 8 late payments on your credit report from 24 months up until today, you're going to be denied. I don't care if your credit score is a 700. So those 5 different categories are very important. The first category you have is payment history, which is 35% of your credit. The second one is utilization, which is 30%. The third one is mix of credit, which is revolving loans and installment loans, which is 10%. The fourth one is history. I'm big on history because everybody want to repair credit. Everybody that tell you they repair credit don't repair credit. Don't let nobody swipe your credit report clean. Because guess what? When they take everything off your credit report, that's what that means. Absolutely. So no credit is just as bad as bad credit. So you want to be careful and you want to make sure you educate yourself on the 5 different categories. And I start with this first because without you knowing this, you want to know what to do. And the history I touched on is 15%. And the last category is inquiries. Stop pulling your credit so much. Everybody want to go pull their credit. I need a credit card. Soon as you get to a 6 something, I need a car. All of a sudden your car broke down. No, you don't. You need to save. Okay? So you have 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. And that's what makes up the 100% and generate your credit score to where it needs to be. Okay? Once you get your credit score where it needs to be, now you need to keep it there. If you want to make sure you use your utilization, mean in fact, don't max out your credit cards, okay? You want to keep it 30% and under. If you want to maximize your FICO score, you want to make sure you go 10% or 7%. There is a difference between a FICO score and a Vantage score. Anybody know the difference? Yes. Go ahead. Yeah. So a charge card, which is an American Express, is different from a regular credit card with a limit. Okay? A charge card is you use it and you want to make sure you pay it back as you go. The more you use, the more you want to pay it back. Okay? You don't want to max it out. You can't max it out. It don't have no limit on it. But what's going to happen is if you use too much, American Express is going to send you a letter, and now they want to pull your transcripts from the IRS because they want to see if you make what you spending. I'm sorry, her question was, is American Express charge card the same when it comes to utilization as a regular credit card with a limit? A regular credit card with a limit is you have to pay it on the due date or before the due date. A charge card doesn't have a due date. It has a due date, but you don't have to pay a certain limit. I'm sorry. What you have to do is make sure you're spending by the spending power. Whatever you're spending, you want to make sure you pay it back. The more you spend, the more you pay it back, the higher the limit. That's a charge card. Okay, make sense? You're welcome. Yes.
The 5 breakdown because they said you went fast and they're really trying to get it.
I'm
So if you could
sorry, I
give
do
it one more
talk
time.
fast. Let me slow down. 35% is payment history. 35% is payment history. 30% is utilization. 15% is your history. 10% is a mix of credit, which is revolving loans and installment loan. And the last 10% are inquiries. You got it? Everybody got it? All right, perfect. So you want to make sure you stay at 10% or you want to go under 7% to maximize your FICO score. The best way to monitor your credit is to get a great credit monitoring service. What is a credit monitoring service? I'm not talking about Credit Karma. Credit Karma is not accurate. That's a Vantage score. You want to make sure you use a FICO score, which is myfico.com or Experian.com. That's your question? Yes, Experian is a good one. So you want to make sure, and of course it's going to cost you. It's not free. And it's okay. It's $30 a month, which is $1 a day. Yes. Credit Sesame is a Vantage score as well, which is something like Credit Karma. So Credit Karma is a great credit monitoring service if you want to know what's on your credit report. But Credit Karma tell you your credit score is a 700 when it's really a 500. You ever get them emails? Woohoo! Yeah. And now you tricked. So you want to make sure you get a good credit monitoring service to look at your credit, to monitor your credit, and make sure that you get alerts, sign up with it, download it on your phone. Okay, monitor your credit. It's very important. You could be a victim of identity theft and you don't know it. You could have had a light bill in your name at the age of 17 and you don't know it. Somebody could have got some phones in your name. Somebody said, and don't know it. So you want to make sure that you look at your credit, you monitor it every 30 days. You want to keep the history on your credit. If you don't have credit, if your parents have good credit, you want to ask them to put you on as an authorized user. That will help you boost your scores. What it will get you is good history, good payment history, because guess what? You need that history. You just starting off. And it'll give you a good limit as well. If they don't pay their bills on time, don't ask them. That ain't looking good for you. Yes, I got a question over here. I'm sorry. Yeah, to check your business credit scores, you want to go to nav.com, NAV.com. And NAV is also a good trade line for your business as well. If you have not started building business credit, you can sign up with nav.com, boost it for $50 a month. It will generate on your credit score and it will give you a Paydex score.
As far as building business credit, what do you recommend specifically?
Building business credit it's a couple of ways, okay? You can build your business credit with your EIN, or if you have a 680 or higher, you can get business credit cards that way with your social security number. If you want to build it with your EIN, a couple of resources you can go to is creditstrong.com. You can sign up with their installment loans. NAV is a good trade line as well, nav.com. You could do Uline, Quill.
So my question is there a way to make a purchase in your business without making yourself the what do they call it? The guarantor, yeah.
Nah. I know they tell y'all that on YouTube, right? But no, you have the personal guarantee when it comes to anything in your business name. The reason why is because they're going to check your personal credit to make sure that you're responsible on that end. Of course, when it comes to business credit, it does not report to your personal credit if you don't fall delinquent. Business credit, it never shows on your personal credit. That's why I call it a second chance. Okay, so you could get business credit cards with your social security number, and you could get business funding as well. Business credit and business funding are two different things. Business credit cards, you can get approved for American Express, Divvy, Capital One Spark. Capital One Spark is the only business credit card that reports to your personal credit. So you want to make sure you be very careful when you do that, because the moment you max it out, that utilization is going to go down, and so is your credit score. Sorry, it's going to go up, and so is your credit score. I'm sorry. Capital One, American Express. You can do Divvy with 2 V's, DIVVY. Chime is okay. Chime is more like a builder, like self. Yeah. I had a question.
So the first one, do those business resources apply to nonprofit businesses as well? Okay, and then the second question is separate, but I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions around medical debt and like the weight that plays on our credit. Can you speak to that?
So medical debt is not supposed to report to your credit if it's $500 or less. If it's over $500, it's going to report to your credit, but there is a law in the FCRA, which is the Federal Reporting Act, Federal Credit Reporting Act, that will help you dispute that medical collection off your credit report, because by law, in the HIPAA law, it's not supposed to report anyway, but you have to find the right law and the right section of the USC that you can dispute it off your credit report. When you are disputing information off your credit report, you want to make sure you are consistent in disputing things off your credit report. Under the FCRA, which is the Federal Credit Reporting Act, any consumer can dispute any inaccurate information off their credit report that does not belong to them or that is reported inaccurate. That don't mean y'all start disputing, talking about this ain't mine or this identity theft. No, it ain't. Y'all know that account y'all's. But if you have a good credit monitoring service and you know how to read your credit report, guess what? You could dispute anything that is reported inaccurate. And trust me, about 88% on your credit report is reporting inaccurate. If you want to know how to read a credit report, I do free webinars. I do via Zoom. And I'll teach you how to read a credit report. I teach you how to remove a collection, a charge off, a late payment, or anything that may be reported inaccurate on your credit report. And it's free. Oh, it's on my Facebook page. Go ahead and scan that QR code. That's my website. And on that website, you will also get a free inquiry removal. Let me touch on inquiries really quick. If you have a lot of inquiries, meaning if you pull your credit too much, stop. They only want you to pull your credit twice a year, which is impossible, right? Don't nobody want to do that. I mean, we want stuff out here. And I get it. But you can also remove the inquiry off your credit report as well. So what that looks like for you is if you don't have the account on your credit report, take the inquiry off your credit report. We go to the dealership and we want a car. Y'all know that credit score ain't where it needs to be to get the car. So don't go to the dealership. What you want to have, a credit monitoring service, a real one, My FICO. Take a look at the credit report, see what your TransUnion score is, and then on My FICO, it tells you what your auto score is. If you get into a credit union, Navy Federal, for example, you can get the loan from them. They pull your credit one time. They'll approve you for about $60,000 if you have a 700 or higher, 60 to 70. Okay? They'll mail you out a blank check and you go to the dealership and you purchase the vehicle. Now you ain't in the dealership all day. You got the vehicle that you wanted. You got one inquiry on your credit report. If you go to the dealership without it, you got 35 inquiries on your credit report. You never got the vehicle, or you got the vehicle and now you're paying $800 for 2017.
I have a question real quick. So what are your options if someone has been putting bills in your name since you were like a child?
Okay. I'm sorry. One more time.
What are your options if someone has been putting bills in your name since you was a child?
So what you want to do is you want to do an FTC report and you want to file a police report. Yeah. But you also want to let them know that you don't know. Don't get nobody in trouble. Pastor said, oh God. Hey, you don't know who it is, Pastor. You know how we do it. But no, you don't know who it is. Don't get your mama in trouble. Now, we ain't trying to send her to jail. But you want to make sure you do an FTC report, even if you don't get the police report, okay? And you want to make sure you plead your case. You want to send in an ID, a piece of mail, and your social security card, and you want to let them know that you never approved for that account to be open in your name because you was not of age and you knew nothing about it. And you let them know how old you are, and they will remove it in 35 days.
All right. So remember at the beginning, I told you all you will have a chance to talk to them personally outside at their vendor table. So let's give her a round of applause. And we are bringing up our next guest, Mr. Michael Evans. As he comes, say money, 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 money.
No. First of all, I am really, really pumped up about this. You all have no idea how many people I speak to that don't look like you all. And they taking notes and they getting it all in. And I'm excited when Candace invited me here. And then when Jamila got me to make sure she got all my stuff and I knew I had a chance to come and give back, I am excited. So let me jump right in. Let me make sure my PowerPoint is working correctly. Hit this button right here. I hit it one time already. Okay, there we go. all right. So first of all, we know why we're here. Pastor Hannah, I thank you very much for your vision to have something like this here, to have this room. When I walked in this room, I felt something. I'm just saying, I felt, I was in the back of the room. I walked in, I said, somebody, I got excited about this. I got excited as an assistant pastor would when the pastor leave out of town. You know how the pastor leave out of town and the assistant pastor get a chance to speak, they tearing it up. That's what I want to do right now. So let's move. Let's move. Right. You had to come back and regain your daggone pastorship, man. But hey, let me go ahead and get started. First of all, this first piece that we're putting up here, this just basically says they did a survey and followed people for 40 years, from 25 to 65, 100 sets of 100 people for 40 years. Let me show you what happened. 54% of those people from 25 to 65 are dependent upon somebody to help them through retirement right now. They do not have enough money to make it on their own. They got to have somebody to help them. They can't get through it. 36% of the people are still working a job. They 65 and over right now. 5% unfortunately deceased, 1% are 1% are $1 million net worth, and 4% are million net worth, and 1% are 5 million net worth. When they took a survey with all the money managers, the financial planners, the assessors, they found out what's the reasons why people are losing this money game. The number one reason was no financial education, no financial literacy. Black, white, Hispanic, it don't matter. That's what the problem is. No financial education, no financial literacy. People who won't want to read and they don't take notes and don't follow through. Number two, no financial game plan. As I mentioned earlier, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. They procrastinate and put it all over, off and off and off, and put excuses down about stuff that don't even matter. Number three, they have no financial coach. They have nobody that can bounce things off of when it comes to make a major financial decision. You got to have that. I had neither of those three. I had no financial education with a business background, no financial education, no financial game plan, and no financial coach. When we went to school, those of us who went to school, you sat down with a counselor and you said, I want to major in this. And they sat down and strategized and said, take this class, then take this one, then take these, and then go get this done, and you graduate with a C or better, and you can win. That's what they did. All right. We graduate from school now, and you got your job, and you're making big money, little money, whatever it is, but there's nobody breaking it down. They set me in a room with 10 people. 9 of them did not look like me, and they said, set up your 401k plan. Nobody had never talked to me about how to set up a 401k plan. What percentage needs to be the stock? What percentage needs to be the bonds? How much is aggressive? How much conservative? I never had a conversation in my life about that. So when the room was getting little, meaning everybody was leaving, I just started pressing the buttons. I ain't gonna be the last one leaving out of here. I ain't gonna be looking like I don't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. So what I'm trying to let you understand is that I know now. It's a risk profile. It takes 3 minutes to complete a risk profile to tell you how aggressive or conservative you are. Simple, 3 questions, and we can have it down in 3 minutes. So we make sure people understand that. So I'm gonna move from here. As I move from here, it says, are you the one, or shall we look for another? Oh, that's what they was talking about. They said he was trying to find out, are you the one? I need to know, are you that man? Are you the real one? Or shall we look for another one? That's what my mama asked me one day, one early morning. She said, Mike, are you going to be the one that become a millionaire? Are you going to be the one to become a multimillionaire? Or shall we look for another? Do we need to look at one of these grandkids? One of these little kids over here? If you ain't going to be, who going to be one? Who going to be one? We looking for stuff. We want to know who want to be a millionaire. I'm trying to let you understand. Wait, let me get to this. Let me go. See, we say, are you the one who will decide to provide generational wealth for your family by becoming a millionaire? See, I ain't talking about how much you got. How much can you leave? Because it's not if I die, it's when you're going to die. You can't spend it all. You want to have so much, you can't spend it all. You got to decide who I'm going to bless. Let's get to it. The first thing they taught me, they said, Pastor, you talked about the bank paying 1% or less. Anybody in here got a checking or savings account, you getting less than 1% interest on the dollar. They asked me, have you ever heard of a rule of 72? I had not. Either they didn't teach it or I missed class a couple of days, but wasn't on no test. My point in sharing this with you is Albert Einstein came up with the concept of taking $1 and 1% and kept adding it together to come up with a concept called compound interest. It took 72 years for $1 to double to $2 if you only getting 1% interest on your money. So in this example, this person has saved $10,000. So it said divide your interest rate into the number 72, and it's going to give you the approximate number of years for your money to double. So this client had $10,000 in a savings account. They went to the bank and said, I need a better rate of return. I'm only getting 1%. They said, okay, we'll put you in a CD and we'll give you 3%. 3 goes into the number of 72 24 times. It takes 24 for that 10 to double to 20. It take another 24 before it double to 40. The bank takes that $10,000 and loan it to us to buy a house or a car and charge us 6%. The bank making 6, they're giving out 3. 6 goes into 72 12 times. That money doubles every 12 years, go from 10, 20, 40, 80, 160. They pay the uneducated client back 40,000. The bank walk away with 120,000, did not use a dime of their own money. Used our money and made 120,000. All they don't loan out, they give it back to us in a credit card and charge us 18 to 24%. If they just net 12% after all the overhead is paid, if they just make 12% on the dollar, 12 goes into 72 6 times. That money doubles every 6 years, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160, 320, 640, 1.2, 2.5. That's our generational wealth. That ain't their money, that's our money. That's our mamas, grandmamas, and grandparents who saved money. They were savers. They saved the money in the banks. They was getting 1%, 2%, 3%. So watch, they give our parents and grandparents, and we'll give you that back if you don't learn today. And they give you back 40,000. They made 2.5 million. 10% on 2.5 million is $250,000. That's the beginning of generational wealth. So I'm trying to let you understand that we got to move this needle and get it done. See, how can you win a game if you don't know the rules? You playing a game and you don't even know the rules of the game. This is the first rule you got to be taught. If it's going to be talking about making some money on your money, you have to get a better rate of return than what you're getting. I'm going to move. Am I pressing this? Y'all pressing? Oh, okay. All right. I got it. We got my other stuff there. How do you win a game? Without introducing us to family and friends, how are they going to learn the rule of 72? They're not going to learn it. They don't teach it. So there are several vehicles you can use to invest money. I don't have time to go into all of them. I'm going into the number one used vehicles in America by Black, white, and Hispanics that has made money over the years. I ain't talking about some stuff that I heard about this, what about this, what about it? It's a lot of that out there. I'm giving you the one that you're can eat off of for a long time. The number one most used vehicle in America is something called mutual funds. They've been around since 1924. It's stocks and bonds. Number one, you got a lot of people who are pooling their money together, giving it to an investment company. Number two, the money is diversified in 50 to 500 different Fortune 500 blue chip companies. And you have a professional money managers buying and selling. You don't have to call them and say, sell Amazon, sell IBM. I heard this was happening with Tesla. You don't have to, those money managers, that's what they do every day. That's how they make money. That's how we make money. So when they asked me the question, Mike, how much do you think it would take to open up a mutual fund? I said, more than I have. Anybody at this table, can you tell me when you first heard about mutual funds, how much did you think it would take to get one started? Anybody? 1,000, okay, at that table. 1,000, here's my point. I didn't even have 1,000, but my sister, what's your first name? Carmela. If you put up 50,000 into a mutual fund, and I put up the minimum that it takes to get one, don't miss this, $25. I put up 25, you put up 50,000, and the mutual fund pays 9% that year. I get 9% on my little bitty money, and you get 9% on your big money. It lets a smaller investor invest like a larger investor and get the same rate of return. From tiny acorns grow big oak trees. Okay, so if you and I got our money in a checking account or savings account, you got 50,000 in a checking savings account, I got 25, and you getting 1% just like me, because your money is in a checking or savings account. So we got to move that money and make it work for us. So let me get off of this. That's mutual fund. Oh, let me say this. 65% of the people that have a 401k plan in America are not in it. 65% of the people who have a 401k at your job is not in it, and that's foolish because they are giving you a dollar for dollar. They matching your money. They give you dollar for dollar, 75 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the, whatever it is. If somebody give you dollar for dollar on your money, I can't get you 100% return on your money. You got to take that. They only gonna let you put 3 or 4 or 5% in, but you got to make sure you max that out first. Somebody said, well, I want to invest in mutual. No. You invest in that 401k. That's gonna give you dollar for dollar. Let's max that out first. Then you come talk to me. But you need to do that first. So if you're in a 401k, understand what it is. Do they match? How much do they match? And see if you can max out the match. 3%, 4%, 5%. I'm leaving off that. I'm gone. 3-bucket theory. Let me tell you why I talk so fast sometimes, you all. Because I was brought up under Bishop Brazier. And Bishop Brazier said, if somebody give you some time, pastor, to speak less so you can get invited back. Okay, so I'm going to move out. I'm getting out of here. So 3-bucket theory. It says to have a complete savings program, most people need 3 types of basic accounts. You need 3 types. Type number 1 is any goals you have that's 3 years or less. Any goals you have that's 3 years or less. Do not invest the money. Do not invest it. If it's 3 years or less, do not invest. If you have a goal that's 3 years or more, but not retirement, it should go into bucket number 2, and that money should be invested. That money should be invested. And the 3rd bucket is your retirement money. 3 buckets of money. If you only had $100, we may put $50 in the retirement plan, $25 in the second plan, which is a mutual fund, and $25 in the money market or the emergency fund, or 50, 25, 25. We're going to break that $100 up. We're going to get started. My point is that the blue bucket for retirement, the challenge is you got to tax shelter your money so you don't pay taxes on that money and you're not using it for anything but retirement. If it's going to be retirement money, don't pay taxes on money that you're going to use for retirement. I got a client that received $180,000 in dividends, capital gains, and he don't even need the money. So we moved all of that money out of there and put it into a tax shelter vehicle, which was an annuity for him at that time, so that he could be in a position. There's no sense of paying taxes on this money if you're not using it. You don't even need this money, brother. So when I say 3 years or less, the reason why we say that is because the stock market has never been down for more than 3 years in a row. Never. It's down 1 year, up 2 years, down 1 year, up 2 years. Nobody knows when it is, but that's just the way the flow goes. Down 1, up 2. So you just have to be in it. You got to take advantage of something called dollar cost averaging, where you just keep putting money in on a monthly basis. Whatever you put in, you keep putting it in. You're going to catch the market up. You're going to catch it down. You're going to catch it up, catch it down. The point is, don't sell when the market is down. Please do not sell when the market is down. You buy when the market is down. That's what Pastor was talking about. We bought when the market went to the toilet. You buy when it's down. You got to buy some stuff when it's up, but I'm just saying, when it's down. When you go to buy clothes or shoes or something, you trying to look for the sale sometimes. Let me see the sale. It's on, the market's on. People say, oh, the market's going down. That's the media psyching your head out, moving you around. The market go down, that's when you're supposed to buy more, because it's going to come back up. Let me tell you, them folk out here, that's their money too. They ain't going to let that market be down too long. I'm just letting you understand. When that man announced the tariffs and the other folks who look like him came to him and said, hey, I'm with you, brother, but you have to fix that. You're going to have to fix that. I don't care. I'm going to fix that. And before you know it, the daggum market started going back up. Daggum market, I said, Pastor, daggum market. Daggum market. So that's the 3 buckets of money. Whatever money you saving on a monthly basis, we're going to decide, should it go into bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3? Let's move. Woo, wee. My sister in the red hat. What's your name? Christina, here's my question. What age were you when you got your first check? First time you ever made money? What age were you? First time. First check. What age? Okay. Talk to me quick. I got to move. Give me an age, my sister. 16, okay. So 16, pretend you were 16, you was making $200 a month, $50 a week, and somebody say, I can show you how to be a millionaire or multimillionaire if you do one thing. The one thing they would have said is you got to pay yourself first. We already talked about the 10-10-80 rule. I'm talking about money now. Pay yourself first 10% or 10 to 15%. So watch this. You're making $200. 10% of 200 was only 20. 15% was only 30. You could have gave $20 or $30 at that time and still lived off the other 180 or 190. Here's my point. My point, if somebody had got to us and taught us like we teaching today, and you had began to pay yourself at 16 and kept paying yourself 10 to 15% of every check until you retired, would you agree we both would have a lot more money than we got right now? Okay, we can't change the past. All we can do is change the future. And we're looking for some people that want to change the future today. We got to change the future today because we can't change the past. Now, if you hear this today and you still keep living like you living, that's on you. That's on you, but I'm showing you the game. So watch this. Somebody, a 25-year-old making $2,000 a month, $2,000 a month. 10% of 2,000 was 200. They saved $200 from 25 to 65. They ended up with $943,000. They did not increase it at all. As they made more money, they just kept staying at the $200 level. And they got that's a millionaire right there. They could have been a multimillionaire if they just kept paying 10 to 15% of every check. So somebody say, I'm 40. Is it too late for me? I ask you, are you on hospice? Are you in hospice? Because if you're in hospice, you might as well keep eating what you want to eat, drink what you want to drink, do what you got to do, because it's a short time. But if you're not in hospice, my mama didn't start saving money until she was 52 years of age, because my father died and left her with 3 children and did not leave enough money for insurance and investments, and so she had to do what she had to do. But she's 85 now. She got more options, and she had to make her stop paying herself first. Because you don't need to pay yourself first no more, mama. You got it. You got everything. You got everything paid for. You don't need to pay yourself no. Live. Spend everything you can, because we're going to sell your house and divide it among the 4 of us. We're going to take all your investments, divide it among the 4 of us. So don't do no, you ain't got to say no more. Spend. I'm off of that. I'm off of that. I'm pressing the button. Ho, this is small print. This is small print, but this is the deal. I don't care what your age is. This is somebody that has 40 years before they reach retirement age, whatever that's going to be for you, 40 years. This is somebody that wants to be a millionaire, to have $1 million 40 years from now. They only need to save $154 a month. You save $154 a month in 40 years, you can have $1 million. $1 million. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. My next one is 30 years. You want to be done in 30 years. I know we got some young people in here, but I asked them what age they want to retire. They're talking about 32. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. No problem. No problem. No problem. We're going to show you the number now. We're going to show you the number. So this is somebody got 30 years before they retire. They only need to save $411 a month. That's $100 a week. 411 is what they need to save to have $1 million in 30 years. Let's go to the next one. 20 years. You need to save $1,200 a month. How could I save $1,200 a month? By being an entrepreneur and finding something else you could do on the side outside of what you're doing at your job. You could pay yourself $1,200 a month. But if you want to be done in 20 years, that's what you need to say, pay yourself $1,200 a month. If you choose to quit talking about you're going to be a millionaire, you ain't stacking no money. You ain't stacking no money. You ain't living below your means. People see how you driving, talking, and walking, and you ain't saving no money. You're not going to be a millionaire. I'm just telling you that right now. So I wanted to make sure that you all understand, I don't care what age you are. I'm telling you all, these rules right here is gonna work to move it forward. Now, they told me my time is up, Pastor, so I'm gonna just show this very quickly, if you all don't mind, because they got everything I got. They can get everything. Man, I'm doing better than the slides. I got a book. I'm doing. So you can have the slides. You can have the slide. You can have the slides. Right. And Pastor, this one is a blessing because it's free. It's free. Well, I'm gonna ask for some, Pastor. I'm gonna right. So, Pastor Core, I just need to finish this because I'm finna help somebody on the wealth side. On the wealth side, let me show you something. I would ask the question, sir. Your name is? You got children? No. Come on, give me somebody. Who got children? Right. You're right. You got children. Here's a question. I'm doing this for a reason. Stay with me, you all. And my time is limited. Watch this. My question is, I don't want you to answer this, but the question they asked me is, do you have any insurance outside of your job? Don't answer that. I said, no, I got $25,000 at my job. My wife got $15,000 at her job, okay? Then they asked me, do you love your family? Do you consider yourself responsible? Can you make a common sense decision without taking forever? Okay, this is what they taught me. This is what the other folks, this is how they play the game. I'm teaching y'all. He said, Mike, put love test on the top of your paper. We're going to use an acronym called DIME, D-I-M-E. He said, if something happened to you, you need at least $15,000 for burial. $15,000. So you to get out of the GoFundMe club. You get out of the GoFundMe club. Somebody come. They think the church pastor is the funeral home. This ain't Gatlin's. This ain't AR League. This ain't one of them. The church is not the funeral home. You need to have some insurance. So anyway, $15,000 for that. Then we said for education, go down to E. He said, Mike, if you have children 12 and over, educational entrepreneurship. Educational entrepreneurship, if they 12 and over, you need to put 60,000 down. If they 11 under, you need to put 40,000. I had one child that was under 12. We put 40,000 down. That's so that not if I die, when I die. If I die before I stack my money, I need to leave something. So that's that 40,000 for educational entrepreneurship in case they don't go to school, they want to do something else. And then he said, if somebody said they're going to bless you right now and wipe out all the debt you have, credit cards, car loans, student loans, mortgage, going to wipe it all out, how much would the check need to be written for? We said, my wife and I, we said 150,000. That was 2 student loans, credit cards, and car loans. That's what we had. There was no mortgage in there. It was just debt. So that's the 150,000. Then he said, okay, if you die and the burial's taken care of, the debt is wiped out, the education is funded, how much of your income needs to still keep coming in monthly without saying all of it? There's no debt. There's no education need to be funded. The burial's done. How much of your income needs to keep coming in? I'm going to show you this game. We said 3,000. She still need at least 3,000 of my income to keep coming in if something happened to me tomorrow. He said for every $1,000 a month you say you're going to leave to a loved one. You said you love your family, didn't you? Is that what you said? For every $1,000 a month you say you're going to leave to your family, you need to have $100,000. For every 1,000, you need to have 100. Why? Because if that 100,000 invested into a good fund, a good investment, and you average 12%, 12% on 100,000 is $12,000. That's $1,000 a month. That's beginning of generational wealth. So I said 3,000. So since we said 3,000, we had to move that number to 300,000. I'm pressing the button. There we go. 300,000. For every 1,000, you need 100,000. So I said 3. That's why I got 300. So he asked me a question. He said, Mike, let's total that up. That's 500,000. Do you currently have $500,000? He said, do you currently have 500,000? Mike, no, I do not. He said, well, let me show you how to rent wealth until you can own wealth. Let me show you how to rent wealth until you can own wealth. Too many times we don't understand the game. Rent wealth till you can own wealth. I said, what do you mean? He came back to me again, Christine, and he asked me the question. So, Christine, we can't change the past, but all we can do is change the future. So he said, Mike, what do you make a year right now? What do you make a year right now? Right now, I said, at that time, I said, we make $60,000, but together. He says, we're going to take 10% of that $60,000, which is $6,000. Divide that by 12 months, and it comes out to $500. So he said, put 10% over 500, and then 15%, 750. He said, so right now, to hit the goals and dreams you just talked to me about, would your budget allow you to pay yourself 10%, 15%, or neither, Mike? And we said neither. We couldn't do neither one of them. But he said, would you all agree that oatmeal is better than no meal? Oatmeal is better than no meal, I promise you. Okay. He said, so you got to start somewhere. So what could you start right now, Mike? We said 350. We started with 350, and this is how I began at 26. The 350, he said, well, what we going to do with that 360 at $350? We're going to go and press this button again. And for $125 a month, we was able to get $500,000 on me, $500,000 on her, and coverage on the children. For $28, we set up a legal protection plan so we can have a will, access to an attorney, and start our trust fund. Okay? Don't leave a bill, leave a will. You got folks fighting, tearing families up because ain't no will, ain't nothing in writing. And folks fighting in your family because of the little money or big money that you left because there was nothing in writing. And then we had $200 left for investments. That $200, we put $100, $50 of each in a Roth IRA. We put $25 in a college fund for our child, $25 in a mutual fund, and $50 left. And we put $50 into a money market. That's my 3 buckets. That's my 3 buckets. So we made sure that we moved the needle. So my last slide, go to my last slide. That's it. The last slide is here. I told you need to have something else you can do. I don't care if you work as an influencer. What's an influencer? An influencer is somebody that refers business to somebody and they pay you. You refer business to somebody and they pay you. They got a business that's moving. This lady this guy over here, he sell cars. And so every time you send somebody him to buy a car, he send you $250. Okay, that's the influencer. I'm influencing people to do business with you. That's an influencer. So you can make some money. Other thing is second career. You got to do something else other than what you're doing. That's all. Second career. You need to do something part-time. That's it. Or you need to be a business owner. That's the 3 things you're going to have to do. One of them 3 things in order to come up. They're not going to let you come up in a job. I'm telling you, they're not going to let you. And they will let you go. They will fire you. And you can't go. I'll make $100,000 at my job, but you ain't finna go get another $100,000 too easy. you got to have something to fall back on, you all. So that's the 3 business opportunities. That's my information for you to get that. They move that fit. They move that fast. Go back. They sent it out. So this thing called B Dollar Smart. Wait, hear this piece. This piece called B Dollar Smart, we just got approved for that. We've been 4 years in the making trying to get approved for that. We can send you a link in 5 minutes. You can fill out a survey, a 5-minute survey, and it can tell me a handful of alerts of things you need to focus on. My sister, I don't know you, brother, but your alerts are going to be different than his alerts. It's what's important to you. If you have no children, like this brother say he'll have no children, no sense us talking about no 529 because you don't have one. Okay, so I'm only going to deal with the stuff that you need to deal with yourself. And so that's how we move the needle. So team, I want to say thank you very much. I am passing this. This is the book. It's in a what do you call it? Download. Whatever it's called. Anyway, so you this the book. I will be outside. We will have a table. We do have some of the books on hand. So the people who come out after you finish, listen to this next unbelievable speaker that's going to light it up for you all. We'll be outside as well to make sure we can get the book out to you. You want a real book, or you can have a however you want it. So that's our deal. If you can take advantage of this piece. Pastor, thank you for my extra 5 minutes. The link for the book. The link for the book is right there. Okay.
All right, let's give it up for Mike again. And you know, I'm going to learn from NIU as well. So definitely. Yeah.
Do one thing.
Yeah, well,
I do need to introduce my daughter, who's a member here at your church, a tither. Maui Evans right here is my daughter. My daughter who's here at your church, who is a licensed financial service rep with me because she's following daddy so she can take over this deal when it's all said and done. And I do have one of my next vice presidents right here in the room with me, Deshar Webb. He's be assisting me as well out in the hall. So I just want to say thank you all very much for the opportunity. I just wanted to give back, and I pray and I pray and I pray somebody's going to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. Thank you all so much.
thank you, Mike. He was dropping gems for sure. Appreciate it. So we have Les, we have Calvin, who's going to come and then talk about his business with Park Place Realty and the 850 Club.
All right. Well, make sure you guys can hear me. All right. Perfect. Well, first, I want to go ahead and thank everyone for being here today. Thanks to Pastor Hannah and, of course, Marlon for inviting me as well, too. Listen, what Sharice and what Mr. Evans did, I don't think y'all need to hear anything from me anyway. So, okay, good. Just want to make sure. All right. So, if this is your first time seeing me, or if you've seen me before, raise your hand. Okay, that should cover everybody. Okay, I want to make sure we listen to the room. All right, guys, so today I'm going to show you all how to go into home ownership. Anyone want to buy a home or rental property? Okay, good. Most of the room. Good. Awesome. Let's go and get right into it. So this is a photo of my wife and I, of course, and my son as well, too. So I am a licensed real estate agent. My wife and I also co-own Park Place Realty. It's a 5-star Google-rated Black-owned real estate firm, okay? I've been a top producer since 2020, and I bought my first home at age 25, and then we bought our second home at 28, our third property at 32, and then we also, of course, own Park Place Realty. We're also the owners of 850 Club Credit. We'll talk about that in a second. But either way, we've helped thousands of people just like you all in this room. As a matter of fact, some of you all actually qualify for homeownership and don't even know it. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second as well. All right, this is just a quick snapshot of people that are just like you. Same income, same background, certain amount of kids. Doesn't matter. Whatever that is, you can accomplish the goal. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to just take this information today and do nothing with it. Because some of you are, not all of you, some of you all are addicted to information, but allergic to execution. Okay? And so here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. The thing is that once you get the information, you then have to say to yourself, okay, when am I going to make time to actually make the next step? What is going to be the next step? Okay. And we're going to talk about this because, again, I don't care what your situation is, we can help you get there. It may take some time, but we can still help you get there. Most people, regardless of their situation, we can help them qualify for a home in 90 days or less. How long? 90 days or less. 90 days or less. Okay. And so let's keep going. So first things first, renting versus buying. This is one of the biggest questions that we get all the time. And I get it because it's a tough decision. Some people say, well, Calvin, you know what? It's nothing. And don't get me wrong. I want to say up front, there's nothing wrong with renting. There's nothing wrong with renting. But I will tell you this. What you pay for rent within a quarter-mile radius, there's more than likely a home for that same monthly amount. Okay? Because just like home prices go up, because people say, yeah, man, home prices keep going up. Raise your hand if your rent has ever gone up. That's my point exactly. Okay? And so you got to know that. So renting gives you flexibility. That means you're not tied down. The repairs are usually on the landlord, right? So you don't have to worry about things. When things happen, you call the landlord. But every rent payment goes straight to the landlord. You're essentially paying for their investment, not building your own. Okay? Now, buying on the other hand, usually means higher upfront costs, more responsibility, more maintenance, because things will happen. But you guys are used to things happening, right? Which is why you buy an umbrella. It's going to rain one day. So you put money to the side that way when something happens. Okay? But not every mortgage payment is going to build equity in the property. I'm sorry, but every mortgage payment builds equity into your property, not someone else's. Over time, you will build that equity as well. Let's keep going. So here's the home buying process. It's actually pretty simple. The home buying process usually starts with a pre-approval. By the way, well, you know what? I'll go into it later. It's going to start a pre-approval. This is where the lender is going to review everything, your credit score, right? By the way, too, I do want you all to understand something. Now, even though many of you all may not use Vantage Score, Credit Karma, mortgage companies 2 months ago, this started about 2 months ago. They now, most mortgage companies, 70% of mortgage companies nationwide are now accepting Vantage Scores. Okay, so you still want to keep an eye on both. I just want to make sure you guys know this. Okay, so either way, you go into that. So you get the pre-approval. That's essentially your buying power. All right. Now, this step is going to set you apart from people that say, hey, I want to look into a house, or they go to an open house. No, once you get your pre-approval, you most definitely put yourself in position because they know that you can buy. They know that you're serious. Next comes making an offer. This is where you negotiate the price and terms. Okay. Not every house you look at, not every house that, well, let me say this first. Not every house you look at, you're going to like. Anybody ever seen a house before and it looked different online than what it did in person? Absolutely. Same thing happens in real estate, unfortunately, okay? But here's the thing. You look at a few houses, you put in your offers, you maybe some back and forth, and then once your offer gets accepted, then you're going to move over to what they call the inspection period. Now, this is where you make sure that the home is safe and sound and you know what you're buying. After that process is going to be the appraisal process, okay? With the appraisal process, this means the bank sends out a third-party company, and they want to make sure that the house is worth what you guys are under contract for. If the house is not worth what you're under contract for, then that means the seller has to either drop the price or you're in a good position and the house automatically has equity. Okay? Now, the next thing is going to be the underwriting process. This is the process in which they look to see and they look to confirm that your income is what you say it is, that you are not changing in between jobs. You can do so, but they just want to make sure that what you put on the application is 100% accurate. Does that make sense? Okay. Next is going to be the closing process. This is where the paperwork is signed, money changes hands, and of course you get the big key that you see everybody else holding. Okay. But that's pretty much what the buying process is. Now, I did throw in some clients in here just because I wanted you guys to see yourselves. Because like this guy right here, he actually found me on my YouTube channel, reached out, and he says, you know what? Listen, this is my wife and I situation. We want to go into homeownership. We're tired of paying rent. We want to go into homeownership because I know what we're paying per month is the same as what a house would be. And so once he broke that down, his wife said, why are you calling random people, or why are you doing business with random people on YouTube that you just met? He says, well, listen, he done showed me so many people. At this point, I'm sure he can help me. So the wife, and I get it. She was a little bit negative at the beginning because you can't trust everybody. Am I right? Absolutely. So either way, we helped her first. And then we started looking at homes. And then he said, you know what, man, we need more. Like, this is not working out. Can we get more buying power? How can we do this? I said, in order for us to get more buying power, we have to add you to the loan. He says, no, man, I can't do nothing like that now. My credit's not the best. I said, not a problem. Since 2011, I have been creating custom game plans. Let me break that down for you. A custom game plan is where we look at your situation. We look at your credit reports, we look at your income, and we say, what's your goal? Okay. So if your goal is to lower your car payment, we can show you how to do that. If your goal is to consolidate your debt, we can show you how to do that. But then, of course, if you want to go into home ownership or rental property ownership, did you know that buying a home is easier than getting a credit card? Let me break this down. When you apply for a credit card and you get denied, do you really understand why you got denied? Not really. But here's the thing, because I've seen people with 700 scores, 800 scores apply for a credit card and get denied. But with mortgages, they are regulated, which means that, again, they have to approve you if you meet the qualifications. You could buy some of you all qualify for a 4-unit home right now and don't even know it. Some of y'all don't know that you could buy up to 4 units with a 580 credit score. So again, these programs do exist, okay? And we're gonna go break this down a little bit further. Now, these are the most popular loan types. We have what you call FHA, and then we have VA. So now, in order to qualify for that, you need to have a credit score minimum of 580. Now, let me break down credit scores real quick. When you're looking at your credit score, you have to look at your mortgage scores, okay? So there's only 2 ways to see your mortgage scores. How many ways? 2. I just want to make sure y'all ain't falling asleep on me, okay? So the first way is obviously to go to a mortgage lender. They run your credit. They can see your mortgage scores. But you need to be able to see them yourself. And that's to go to MyFICO. Write this down, myfico.com, MyFICO.com, MyFICO.com. Now, once you go to myfico.com, you're going to get the advanced plan, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. This is so you can see your mortgage scores without having to get a hard inquiry, a hard pull on your credit, okay? Then once you confirm those scores, then that's when you can actually see what those mortgage scores are. Then you have what they call a VA loan. Any veterans in the building? Any vets? Any vets? Perfect. Watch this. Watch this. Did you all know, and if veterans, because I've met veterans that didn't know this, where they have loans where you can essentially buy a home with a $0 down payment, okay? Some of you all right now, I had a client where her father, she was taking care of her father. Her father wasn't feeling too well, and he's been like this for years. He had some time and things of that sort. But I said, you know, your father's a veteran. Why don't we just get a VA loan so you don't have to put anything down? She says, I never thought of that. Again, we don't know what we don't know. It is not until you talk to someone that has seen a lot of scenarios. I've seen over 10,000 credit reports, guys, since 2011, okay? And so I've seen everything, all right? Next is going to be 620 to 850. Now, buying a home is not like buying a car. You could be a 620 credit score walking inside the dealership, and you can get a different interest rate than someone that walks in as an 820 or 750. When you're buying a home, the interest rate is the exact same. I want everyone to say exact same. The interest rate is the exact same from credit scores 620 to 850. You know how many people don't know that? Y'all just learned that today. So again, this is what you need to know. Next is going to be 680. Now, this is where you go into conventional. There are some banks that can do this. And they have their down payment is 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%, or 20%. This is usually if you are the only time you're kind of forced to go this way if you have high student loan debt. So if you have more student loan debt than your actual annual income, then this is where that kind of plays a role. Okay. And so we'll go into that a little bit later. Then, of course, I told you guys about myfico.com. This is going to be down payment assistance programs. There's 3 types of down payment assistance programs. How many? 3. Number 1 is state-based down payment assistance. This is where every state, most states in the United States, offer some form of down payment assistance. There's a down payment assistance program right now where you can get $25,000 just for moving into Cook County. Okay? They have $10,000 available, $7,500 available. And many of these programs, you don't have to pay it back. They are pretty much paying you to buy a house, okay? Then you have lender-based down payment assistance. This is where you actually get down payment assistance from the lender. The bank is giving you this. Now, don't spend too much time on lender-based down payment assistance because it's usually not much, $1,500, $1,500. But something like that can cover moving costs, right? Because my wife, when we bought our second home, first thing she wanted to do was buy furniture and all the rest of this stuff, right? So things cost money. Okay. Next is going to be area-based down payment assistance. Some of you guys have seen things like MRRP in Chicago and things of that sort. This is what they're talking about. This is where it's actually based on the address or even based on the zip code, okay, of the property that you're trying to buy. Next is going to be the cost of ownership. Now, this is going to include your mortgage, which feels like rent, but it's actually building equity, okay? And then, of course, it's rolled into insurance, property taxes, okay? And then of course I want to throw repairs in there as well too, so you can get used to putting $100 to the side when the furnace goes out, when the AC unit goes out. Things are going to happen, guys. Okay. And they also have warranties and things of that sort as well too. So it's a lot of things I don't have time to go into today, but I at least wanted to take you guys one step closer to home ownership. Here's the thing. Owning does carry more responsibility, but those extra costs goes towards protecting and growing the asset. In short, over time, and don't worry, I'm gonna get to some questions as well. Over time, you're building that equity. Then it goes into what do you do with that equity? Okay. In short, equity means this. If your house is worth 200,000, but you owe 150,000. If your house is worth 200,000 and you owe the bank 150,000, how much equity do you have? 50,000. Okay. Did you know if you take that equity and buy a rental property like this client right here? Oh wait, that was supposed to do like the whole, there we go. Okay, good. Like this client right here, check this out. When I first met her, she says, hey, listen, you helped a friend of mine that went to New Life Church, going to home ownership. I want to do the same thing. My credit's not the best. We looked at her credit report. We told her exactly what to do. We created a custom game plan. She followed it step by step. She then bought her first home in 2018. So then she says, hey, Calvin, listen, I keep getting emails from you talking about I got something, I got equity. I said, yeah, remember we talked about this years ago. You're going to start building equity. You know what I love about equity? I want everybody to close their eyes. Don't worry, I ain't going to do nothing crazy. For 3 seconds, close your eyes. Now, what did you guys see? What do you all see when you close your eyes? Nothing. That's exactly what she did to get equity in her property, okay? She did absolutely, she did absolutely nothing. She bought that house. She bought that house for 120,000, okay? Very small home. But then now the house is worth over 215,000. She took out 70% of the equity, paid off some credit card debt, and she says, Calvin, I still got some money left over. Can I use this to buy another property? I said, absolutely. So she went from not qualifying for a home to buying her first home to now buying her second home, and she Airbnbs this. She has the audacity to make money now every single month that she rents out her property for Airbnb. Not bad, right? You guys can do the same thing. So check this out. Many of you guys have seen the YouTube channel. We have over 191,000 subscribers, 2,700 videos. We got plenty, no matter what that situation is, no matter what your goals are, you most definitely can get there as well too, okay? So make sure you guys go and check out the YouTube channel as well. And then there's one more, okay, all right. So the next thing here too, guys, I'm going to scan the QR code. Now, it doesn't matter where you are. And what I mean by this is if you're just starting the home buying process, if you say, Calvin, I just signed a lease, I don't even know if I'm ready to buy a home until like another year. You could do that too. Scan the QR code. We can help everybody. We at least want to make sure that everything's in place. That way, when you're ready, we can put you in position. Remember, there's only 2 things that's keeping you from your goals. If you don't write this down, there's none. I'm telling you, you're gonna miss the entire point of all of this. It's only 2 things keeping you away from your goals. Number 1 is information. Information. See, some of you, we don't know what we don't know. Therefore, we say, hey, we don't know where to move. But number 2 is gonna be execution. Execution, right? Because now you can no longer say, I don't know how to buy a home. No, now you have the information. All right. And then you have to say to yourself, what's going to be that next step? Or you can text home to this number right there at the bottom, 708-346-5613. And that'll send you the link to get, this is a free home buyer's guide. Okay. It's a free home buyer's guide. All right. And so that's what you need. And again, we'll be able to answer your questions and things of that sort. We don't try to talk people into going into home ownership. I don't care if you want to buy 2 years from now, 1 year from now, 6 months from now, whatever. We can most definitely put a plan together to help you go into that. Okay. And so thank you all so much. That's my time.
Shout out to Calvin. Also, another thing that he does, he really didn't talk about, is that he teach people who want to get into monetizing YouTube, right? Is that correct, Calvin? So if you want to learn how to monetize off YouTube, he actually has a program that teaches people how to do that as well. So get in contact with him. He can definitely give you the information. And remember, for questions, we're going to have our speakers outside. They're going to have tables where you can talk to them. So I'm going to have MJ come first and then Jazz to give the announcements.
Hey y'all, did y'all enjoy that? Like, was that good? Do y'all feel like, yes, everybody in here can just buy property, right? Okay, so if you are in a tribe, wait, let me stop.
if you're not in a tribe and you want to join, that QR code that you scanned, also you can talk to someone at the table. We got a few core members around the room. You can come talk to me as well. This is our last set of interviews for 2025 for the tribes. And so I said that because our tribes are starting a financial challenge tomorrow. What that challenge is two parts. So one part is the money box. How many of y'all are aware of like the money saving box? Okay, a couple people. So basically it's a box that you store money in. You set your own goals. So $500, $1,000, $2,000 where you're stacking your money. You don't necessarily have to do a box. You can do a high yield savings account or however you want to save and stack that money. The second part of the challenge is a financial bingo card. So this is your personal goal. You have some options that you will be able to select and fill out your bingo card. Your tribe leaders will be giving you that information tomorrow. So just get ready. I hope that we all come out of this more financially educated and more successful. Thank you.
All right, we got Jazz.
Okay. Thank you all so much. So good to see you all. I have a couple announcements for you. So as MJ said, tribe member interviews are going to be on next Monday, September the 15th. There'll be a 6 p.m., a 7 p.m., and an 8 p.m. And you all will be getting an email about that today in addition to the survey for today's meetup. Our next meetup is going to be October the 5th. So be on the lookout for that via Instagram and emails. And then our party is coming up. Woo! So we're going to be having a party at Ignite Glass Studio, which is going to be the homecoming. We're so excited to see all of you all there. Be on the lookout for that as well. Last but not least, we look forward to sending you all out a recap of today. So please check your emails for that too.
All right, thank you all. Brandon is going. I'm gonna have Brandon real quick pray us out, and then again, our panelists are going to be outside where you can ask some questions. I hope you all got great knowledge and enjoyed everything today.
Let us stand. And Bible studies Tuesday, second and fourth Tuesdays. All right, so make sure you all put that on your calendar. In the children's building. Follow JG. It's the annex, so the parking lot right here, right across right there. Let us pray. God, we thank you for everything that you've poured into us today, God. We pray, God, that it would be drawn into our hearts, God, to just flourish into something more than we can ever imagine, God. We pray right now, God, that you will dismiss us from this place, but never, ever from your presence, God. Let us go, God, reflect, to pray on this, God, to be everything that you've called us to be, to do everything that you've called us to do, God. God, wherever we're going out in the world, wherever we're going out in the city today, God, we pray, God, that you will protect us, keep us from hurt, harm, and danger, God, and we'll be so more than happy to give your name the honor, the glory, and the power as we return to meet again in the future. This prayer we ask in Jesus' name. Let us all shout, amen. See y'all Tuesday.